Okay, today we're still working with MAFS 5 and F11, which is add and subtract fractions unlike denominators. And we'll also be working into MAFS 5 and F12, which again is adding and subtracting unlike fractions, but in word problems. Lesson 10 is we're going to add fractions with sums greater than 2. So that's a question: what strategies can I use to add fractions with sums greater than 2? Now, before we get started, we need to talk about the commutative property. The commutative property comes from the word commute, or to move around. So the commutative property is one that refers to moving stuff around. For addition, that means that A plus B equals B plus A. And for our problem we're working out here right now, what that means is that I have 2 and 1/5 plus 1 and 1/2. When I rewrite this, I can go 2 plus 1/5 plus 1 plus 1/2. Now, all I've done so far is just kind of split them apart, because 2 and 1/5 is 2 plus 1/5. But the commutative property says it doesn't matter what order I do these in. So I'm going to put 2 plus 1, put my whole numbers together, plus 1/5 plus 1/2. Okay? Now, what I can do is I can add my whole numbers here. So I've got 3 plus. Now I've got 1/5 plus 1/2. From what we've seen from the previous lesson, if we wanted to use the numerically, and I'm adding 1/5 plus 1/2, I would basically multiply 5/5 by 2. So 2 times 5 would be 10, 2 times 1 would be 2. Plus my half, I'm going to multiply by fifths. So 5 times 2 equals 10, and 5 times 1 equals 5. Well, that would equal 7/10. So now we have 3 plus 7/10. So our answer would be equal 3 7/10. Let's try this again. This time, I'm going to rewrite it. 2 plus 4/5 plus 1 plus 1/2. And I'm going to rewrite it according to the commutative property to 2 plus 1 plus 4/5 plus 1/2. When I add my whole numbers, now I've got 3 plus 4/5 plus 1/2. Now, I'm going to convert my fractions. I know I'm going to multiply my fifths by 2. So 2 times 4 would be 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Because I just basically took my denominator on the other fraction, multiplied my numerator and my denominator and my other fraction. On this one, I'm going to take 5 times 1 and 5 times 2 to convert 1/2. So 1/2 times 5 would be 5/10. So now we have an answer. When we add this together, we have 3 plus an 8 is 8 plus 5, I'm sorry. It's going to be 13/10, which equals 3 13/10. Now, could I rewrite this? Because we know 3 13/10 is actually equal to 3 plus 10/10 plus 3/10. And we know 10/10 is equal to 1, so it's going to become 4 3/10. Okay, let's rewrite this one. 2 plus 2/3 plus 5 plus 2/5. Rewrite it in accordance with commutative property, grouping your whole numbers and your fractions. We got 2 plus 5 plus 2/3 plus 2/5, which gives us 7 plus 2/3 plus 2/5. Now our thirds, I'm going to do it over here, you can see it. If I take 2/3 and I know I'm going to multiply it by the other denominator, which is 5, I'm going to end up with 10/15. So now I end up with 7 plus 10 fifteenths. And now the 2/5, I'm going to multiply that by thirds, which will give me 6 fifteenths. So now I got 10 fifteenths plus 6 fifteenths. So now I have 7 and 16 fifteenths, which we know that's equal to 7 plus 15 fifteenths plus 1 15th, which equals 8 and 1 15th. Okay, let's rewrite it again. Remember, any of these videos, if you want to try it yourself, just pause it and then restart it again. But we got 3 plus 5/7 plus 6 plus 2/3. Rewrite it in accordance with commutative property. 3 plus 6 plus 5/7 plus 2/3. Now we're going to add our whole numbers, which gives us 9 plus 5/7 plus 2/3. Now we're going to take our 5/7 and multiply that by 3 over 3, because that's what our denominator over here is. So let's come on to this side, and I've got to find my pen. Here it is. 5/7 times 3 over 3, which would give us 15 21st. So now I got 9 plus 15 21st. Now my 2/3, I'll be multiplying that by 7 because it's denominator right here. So that's times 7 over 7, which gives us 14 21st. So we're going to be adding that. And we add them together, we're going to end up with 9 plus 29 21st. But you know that equals 9 and 21 21st plus 8 21st, because 21 21st plus 8 21st equals 29 21st. So that's going to be equal to, I forgot my plus sign in here. So that would be equal to 10 and 8 21st. Okay, so let's rewrite it, commutative property. 3 plus 4 plus 1/2 plus 7/8, which gives us 7 plus 1/2 plus 7/8. We're going to take our half, we're going to multiply it by 8 because of our denominator over here. So that's times 8 over 8, which gives us 8 16ths. So now we got 7 plus 8 16ths. Now our 7/8, we're going to multiply that by 2 over 2, and that's because of the denominator right here, and that's going to give us 14 16ths. So that'll be plus 14 16ths. Now when you add these together, we got 7 plus, it's going to be 22 16ths when we add 8 and 14 16ths. Which we know that's equal to 7 and 16 16ths, which is a whole, and we have another 6 16ths to get to 22 16ths. So now that's going to equal, because 7 plus 16 16ths is 8, and we have 6 16ths left over. Okay, so this last problem we're going to be working, we can still use the commutative property. So we're going to take, we have 15, I'll get my pen. So I can have 15 plus 5/6 plus 7 plus 9/10. Now with the commutative property, I can change it around. So I'm going to put my whole numbers by whole numbers. It's 15 plus 7 plus 5/6 plus 9/10. Now I can add my two whole numbers together, and that's going to give me 22 plus 5/6 plus 9/10. So now I can sit there and add my two fractions together for this part of this. So let's come over here. Now I know if I did my models, I'd be combining my 6 and my tenths to 6. So I'm going to end up with a denominator of 60ths. Okay,
So I know I have 5/6. So I have to multiply that by 10 to get 60. So I have to multiply top by 10. So I end up with 50/60. So we know this would be 50/60. Now for my 9/10, I'd be combining that with my 6. So I know that's 6/6. That's going to give me 54/60. So that's plus 54/60. When we add these together, I'm going to get 104/60. Now I know I can convert that over to a mixed number because I can go 60/60 plus 44/60. And I know that's going to equal 1 and 44/60. Now, I still have to add in the 22 that I had before. So when I add these two together, I've got 22 plus 1 and 44/60. So that's going to give us 22 plus 1 is 23 and 44/60. Now, that's our final answer. I'm not going to reduce it at this time. Okay. We're just worried about adding them. I'll get back to reducing and finding least common denominators later. For right now, we're just worried about adding them. Okay? All right. Hope this helped. All right. Now, we've done a lot of adding of fractions. Now we've sit there and done some adding of whole numbers and fractions, and we split it apart using the commutative property. Okay? And I'll see you in school tomorrow. Bye-bye.